morning, guys. My name is Danielle, and I'm here to present to you guys about the hazards of mold in your household. How many of you guys actually know what mold is or have ever seen it before? No? Never seen it? Okay, well, we're going to take a short pre-test, and then I'm going to present to you guys about what it is, what it does, and how to prevent it in your household. Okay, you guys finished? I'm going to go ahead and present, and then we'll take the test at the end to see if you guys have different answers. Cool? Okay. So the first one, I kind of covered it up because I kind of gave away the first one. Mold is a fungus. So most people think that mold is just something on its own. It just grows wherever, and that it's not associated with any kind of thing. So it's not a bacteria, it's not a virus like it says up there. It is a fungus, and the best way that it grows is in a moist environment. It actually has spores that travel through the air. That is how it spreads, and it actually is in food products, it's in plants, and it's actually in the air that you are breathing in. The needs that mold have to grow and replicate and become a major problem in your household, it definitely needs nutrients, it needs to eat, it needs to have a place to grow, so that is that moist environment or the places where it's dark and stuff like that. And the big one is moisture. It has to have moisture in the room or in the air to be able to grow. Big places are in crawl spaces where there's not a lot of light, but there's a lot of moisture that can be stuck in there. Next is tips to clean mold up, because mold is a big part of people with asthma, people with lung issues. Mold can definitely enhance and exacerbate those issues. So we want to know how to clean those up as quickly as possible. Number one is that you want to protect yourself while you're cleaning these up. So you want to wear stuff like gloves, a mask, maybe a gown, stuff that is going to protect yourself, maybe eyewear, something like that. Second is that you want to toss it out. You want to get it out of your house if you're not able to dry it up within 24 to 48 hours. You want to get it out of your house so that it's not able to grow and get mold on it, something like that. Next is air it out. If you're working in a house that maybe has just gone through a hurricane or a major flooding, you want to be able to air that house out so it can get air in it to dry up those places that are getting wet. Next is circulate. You want to get fans. If you have the money, get a dehumidifier. That's something that dries up and takes in the moisture and puts it out somewhere else. Number 5 is you don't want to mix cleaners when you're cleaning mold up. You don't want to mix bleach and ammonia together. You want to use certain things, and we want to stick with those things when you are cleaning. That's where the gloves and the eyewear come in, because bleach can definitely harm you, so you want to protect yourself against those. Next is you want to scrub all surfaces. You want to scrub the surfaces with water and some of those cleaners that you're using so that they don't have those spores on them and they are actually getting clean and dried up. Number 7 is that you don't want to cover the places that you think mold might be or that they might grow. So say you have a water spot in your house on the ceiling and you see it growing. You don't want to just paint over that water spot and be like, oh, I'll deal with it later. You want to handle it right now because it could become a major problem. And number 8 is you want to dry everything that gets wet, that is permanent in your house, within 24 to 48 hours. You guys have any questions?
Yeah, what's something that I can take out of my house to minimize the risk factors?
Something you could probably take out of your house would definitely be like wet towels. Humidifiers are really big. If you look for condensation, that's a big one too. Condensation on window seals, definitely mold on like the window sill when the water condensates, or anything that holds water. So something like you don't want to have a sink full of water for a long period of time. You don't want to, you know how behind your sink when it gets wet after you're washing dishes, you want to dry that up.
What can you use to clean it? The mold.
To clean the mold?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it was saying. Like you can use certain cleaners and everything like that. Were you specifically asking about one of these?
Not necessarily, but like if I go to Walmart, like, do you know what kind of cleaners do I look for? Like Fabuloso or?
So like bleach is a good one. That's a good one that kills kind of everything when you're doing it. That's what we usually recommend. We do recommend that you do wear those gloves, that special mask, and eye protectant when you are doing that. Yeah. Any other questions?
Nope.
Just so that we're like I'm looking over this right now. Mold isn't just found where there is big pools of water. It could be that there's moisture coming from a humidifier that you have in your house because maybe you have respiratory issues and you need that air and stuff to break it up. The humidifiers are bad because they can get onto the walls and create that constant water buildup that can then produce and attract those spores. So that is one big thing that you want to avoid, and just make sure that you know that like mold isn't just found in places where there's flooding or where there's hurricanes. It can happen anywhere if you have those susceptible places. Yep. So do you guys want to go over the 8 steps that I found? Okay. Let's see if you guys can name a couple. We're trying to get to 5. If you guys do all 8, that would be great, but let's try to get to 5.
You just rhymed.
Okay, so can you guys list 1?
Wear PPE,
Okay, perfect. And do you know what PPE is?
personal protection.
Okay. Arturo, do you have an example of what PPE is?
Gloves or a special mask.
Okay, can you guys think of another one?
Air it out.
Yes. And what was that? Was that, can you explain what air it out is?
Oh, like open windows. Don't have. Yeah, just open the windows so the air circulates.
Okay, perfect.
Toss it out.
Okay, and toss it out. You guys remember that toss it out. You're trying to get it out of your house if you cannot dry it within 24 to 48 hours. Just remember that. Anyone else? You think of other ones?
Don't mix cleaners.
Okay.
Yes.
And do you remember the example I gave as to what not to mix?
Bleach and ammonia.
Okay. Anyone think of anything else? Maybe something to do with surfaces,
Oh yes. Clean surfaces.
clean them, scrub them.
Clean them, scrub them, whether it's floors or countertops.
And do you leave them wet or do you dry them?
Dry them.
Okay. What about another one?
Dryers to take out the moisture.
Okay, perfect. And you guys want to take that post test and see if you can figure it out, and then I'll check your papers to see if they're correct. Okay, can you guys answer number 1 for me? What do you think that is?
Fungus.
Fungus? Perfect. You see it right there? We went over it. Mold is a fungus. What is a way you can protect yourself from mold?
Wear a special mask.
Okay, perfect. Do you know any other personal protective equipment that you can do?
Gloves and goggles.
Perfect. And mold is only found where flooding occurs. Is that true or is that false, Arturo?
False.
That is false. Mold can happen anywhere where there is a buildup of water. It does not have to be flooding. So if you guys want to look at those pamphlets that I hand out to you, it does show you what mold is. It goes into more detail of what it is. And it also shows you a specific type of mold that can grow in your home. We appreciate you guys coming out and learning about it, and I hope that you guys go home and apply all of these tips to your life. It will really help you guys. Thank you.